When it comes to assigning combat damage, I think that it helps more to think of it as assigning power than assigning damage. Let's say we have Dictate of the Twin Gods, which doubles all damage dealt to players and permanents. And we attack our opponent with a Rumbling Baloth. And our opponent blocks with Darksteel Mirror, which is a 0-1 with Indestructible. Before we go to combat damage, we play Temur Battle Rage targeting our Baloth, which gives it double strike and trample because it has 4 power. Now the way that trample works is that if we take the power of this creature and we assign enough of it so that it would be lethal to each creature blocking this creature, then anything left over would be considered excess damage, and that can be trampled over to the player. In this example, I have 4 points of power to play with here. Even though Darksteel Mirror can't be destroyed, it doesn't mean it can't be dealt any damage. The damage that we're assigning doesn't know whether that thing is going to destroy it or not. It doesn't even care. When assigning all of this, all we would know is that it takes 1 point of power to be enough to take this creature out normally. So when we assign 1 point of its power to Darksteel Mirror, that is enough to be considered lethal, and then the 3 left over is excess damage. Now the reason why I'm making such a distinction between assigning the power and assigning damage is because when we say assigning damage, it makes it sound like we're assigning the total damage that is going to be dealt. Because to most people, when they hear 4 combat damage that gets doubled to 8, they think we have 8 points of damage that we can split up individually how we want. But Dictate of the Twin Gods actually cares about the damage being dealt, not how much damage is being assigned. And when it comes to assigning combat damage, we're splitting up the power of the creature, not the total damage that will be dealt in the end. So what will happen here is that 1 point of power is being assigned to Darksteel Mirror, and then when we go to the actual damage, that point of power will be 1 damage doubled to 2. That means we have 3 points of power going to the player, and when we deal that 3 damage to the player, that will be doubled to 6. Now with Double Strike, that just means that you get to assign combat damage again in the regular damage step. Only thing is that whenever a creature takes damage, that damage is marked on that creature until the end of the turn, so this creature will still have 1 damage marked on it, which means it still has lethal damage marked. So when it comes to assigning combat damage the second time, that creature already has enough that is considered lethal marked on it, and so the rest of this damage is considered excess damage. With Trample, all 4 of that damage can go directly to the player. And since that player is being dealt 4 damage, that damage will be doubled to 8, and they will take 8 damage the second time around. Now if the blocker has protection, it works very similarly to Indestructible, where you have to assign lethal damage to that blocker. Since protection actually prevents that damage, the creature is never dealt it and won't be marked it, so the second time around, you will have to assign it damage again. But even though it's preventing that damage, when it comes to assigning it, we don't care about any of that stuff. All we care about is how much it would take to take this creature out. So if we play it out the same way, the first damage step will assign 1 damage here, which will all be prevented. 3 will go to our opponent, which will double to 6, and they will take the full 6. Then regular combat will be the same thing. 1 gets assigned, which all gets prevented. 3 goes to the opponent, which gets doubled to 6.